Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ria, content analyst at Strategic. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all to today's exclusive webinar on data protection redefined, secure, defend, and recover hybrid cloud data. I welcome you on behalf of Commvault and Technobyte. It is a matter of when, not if, an organization will be affected by ransomware or another type of cyber attack. Proactive, multi-layered protection and fast recovery across your entire data estate is essential for those tasked with safeguarding organizations' assets and for ensuring business continuity in face of escalating and increasingly complex threats. The important question to answer is, do you have your incident response plan in place to tackle today's threats? What is your cyber resilience strategy to deal with the ransomware or cyber attacks? Can you use data protection beyond traditional backup and recovery to improve security postures? And that is exactly what we seek to answer through today's webinar. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Arvinderjeet Singh Dadwal, Director, Sales Engineering, India and SAC at Commvault, to take us through an exclusive presentation on redefining data protection. Over to you, Mr. Arvinderjeet.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you in this session of Data Protection Redefined with Commvault. So if you look at every customer we speak with or work with shares a common challenge. Data is everywhere, and we do not see any kind of future where the data would be less or in a fewer places than it is today. So all companies have hybrid multi-cloud strategies, okay, and they're managing workloads across clouds, regions, accounts, data centers, SaaS applications, and more. According to a Gartner study, they say that around 50% of the critical data that an enterprise rely on will be created and processed outside that company's cloud. So it'll be outside the private cloud, it'll be in somewhere in public cloud. And most companies do not have any kind of visibility into what kind of data is critical and where does it live. And the end result is even a basic data protection like a backup and recovery, DR, governance, and compliance becomes a daunting set of challenge and making it very, very hard to protect all the dispersed data. So safeguarding data from today's cyber threat has become very hard, and I'm sure you will also attest to that. And it's not only a challenge for a small organization, but it's also a similar challenge faced by a big organization of bigger size. We are hearing this from all our customers, and the good thing is today the attacks are looking very different from what they were yesterday. So cyber crime earlier used to be a lone wolf trying to attack inside, encrypt data, and trying to get some money out of an organization. But now it's no longer a lone wolf practice, but an organized form of digital crime. It's everything from hyper-focused nation-state attacks, broad sweeping supply chain breaches, and even rogue admins or bad actors within your own organization. And the barriers to the entry are getting lower as there are rise of multiple different hacking groups, and even some of them offering their services, ransomware as a services toolkits, which have become quite mainstream. So anybody can go online or on the dark web and download these toolkits and start using them for any. Second is the constrained resources. If you talk about IT or to a security, it takes a new and unique skills to protect businesses from emerging threats. The budgets are growing thinner day by day, and the well-publicized skill gaps is leaving many IT and the security teams hamstrung with the depleted and dwindling resources. It's very hard to hold back on your resources, and with the attrition rate these days, you can to achieve what's happening. And lastly, there's the data itself. As hybrid and multi-cloud adoption accelerates, business data is increasingly spread across every application, device, on-prem, and cloud environment. And it all needs protection. This data sprawl across multiple locations also introduces risk of its own kind, blind spots. You might not be aware where the data is lying, and it creates more grounds to cover. It's hard enough to manage a growing and evolving data set, let alone safeguard from the threat actors looking to harm it. When when it comes to motives, the motives have changed too. So gone are the days when anybody or a ransomware was slowly designed to encrypt the data, and the data protection meant that you should be able to recover your data and you're good to go. Today, the cyber threats aims at exploiting that data in multiple ways. So what they do is they are leveraging double and triple extortion tactics that recovery alone cannot combat. When they install their malware, the malware starts reading the data and exfiltrating the data out of the organization and stealing all the sensitive data. So this information which is collected by these actors, then they are sold on the dark web. Now, even after they have collected all this information, in the end, they also encrypt the data of the customers. So the customer, they would charge money from a customer to decrypt the data, and they would also sell their trade secrets on the dark web. So for them, the threat actor is trying to make money from both sides. And even if customer pays the money, there is no 100% guarantee that the threat actor would give them the key for decrypting the data. For immediate downtime and impact to business operations to long-term financial and customer fallout, the stakes have grown quite huge, and the bad actors aim to exploit these data in a multiple new ways. However, if I look at the data protection vendors, aside from Commvault, they have done very little to help customers out here. There is an organization in US, NIST, National Institutes of Standards and Technologies, which have got a cyber resiliency framework. So is any of the data protection providers taking help of these frameworks to provide the security capabilities? That's a very, very limited ones. Specifically, their limited security capabilities are only focused at covering the backup and recovery environment. So just to be on the clear, security for backup and recovery definitely is important. It doesn't mean you don't look at that, but capabilities like immutable backups and anomaly detection for backups are important. So of course, leading backup and recovery capabilities are a core part of Commvault business, and we think that we offer the best solution on the planet. But we also believe that it is very necessary that security also should be taken on the same kind of urgency as for backup and recovery. Solely relying on recovery as the last line of defense and limiting security to recovery alone is not enough. Data protection teams need more, and we at Commvault see it as our responsibility to work with them to deliver the protection that extends beyond your backup and recovery. With a Commvault as an administrator, when he sets up a new backup, for it could be for containerization, it could be a virtual environment, or it could be a SaaS workload. So we also provide automated recommendations to help you place decoys that mimic the data you are backing up. So these are nothing but these are decoys which are deployed, which mimic your crown jewels. So if there is a threat actor trying to get in, he will first come to these decoys. And the moment he touches the decoys, it will set up an early warning, and which will be sent to your SIM or SO tool, which you might be using in your environment. And basis that, the security team then can take additional steps on it. It is this kind of security that we believe must be recasted for a data protection experts to allow them to prove security in all the context. So what if data protection can be reimagined? Okay, so that it wasn't reactionary but proactive, and that it was able to anticipate risk and eliminate blind spots to fuel better data decisions, that it could see threats sooner, even before they land in, and try to encrypt your data in production to actively defend and divert attacks on data. What if it can also harness the powers of AI and automation, which is now increasingly available to all users, for trusted recoverability and compliance across your entire data set? And if we can also deliver unrivaled data security and compliance at the lowest TCO. All in all, at the end, it all comes down to cost savings. Your solution could be the best in the world, but if it doesn't meet uh, the cost which a customer is looking at, that best solution is of no use. What if, with combined with all these things, what we spoke about, we also give you a solution which has the lowest TCO, and that's what Commvault delivers. We provide customers unmatched resiliency to keep data secure, okay, wherever it lives. And the data could be wherever it lives. It could be in your on-prem, it could be in a cloud, or it could be edge. We secure the data with multiple encryption keys available to us. Customer can decide which encryption cipher he wants to use, and we also prevent unwanted access to that data. There are role-based access control inbuilt into the software, preventing unwanted access to your data. And integrity. That means whatever the backup has been done, we also validate to backup to let you know that the backup is validated. And when you do a recovery, you would be able to run your application and databases directly from it without doing any additional exercise to recover the data. We also have next generation early warning, detection, and monitoring to different data, increase the visibility out there, and accelerate your response. So this is a threat wise, which allows a customer to know before the attack is happening in their environment, to raise an alert for those attacks which are happening, or those the probes which are going on by the threat actors, and basis that the security team can take decisive action to prevent those attacks from happening. And the third pillar is proven recoverability to get the data back fast, what data loss, and also maintain or they exceed the SLAs which are being signed off with your internal or external customers. So this slide has got a lot of text in it, so I would take some time explaining what it means. So please bear with me, because this is a very important slide. It captures the whole essence of whatever we have been talking in the previous old slides. So Commvault is built as a secure by design. Okay, it's immutable, and it called a zero trust architecture. So no one is allowed access to anything unless it is specifically or explicitly specified out there. The Commvault also removes the data silos to safeguard the data wherever it be lying. It could be on premises, it could be on cloud. Again, in the cloud, you have it could be multi clouds, it could be the SaaS applications running, and it could be containers, it could be virtualized environment, physical servers, and the data also could be lying on the edge, with flexible delivery models that allow you to consume data protection how you want without compromise. So you can have a Commvault software installed in your data center to consume Commvault, or you can also look at a SaaS platform which is a Metallic, which also allows you to consume Commvault and protect all your data. We also actively defend data with rich and next generation capabilities to proactively see and minimize with the trusted recoverability to rebound fast. Our early warning product, ThreatWise, which you see on the left side, is helps organizations surface zero-day unknown and cyber threats in a production environment, even before the data is compromised and it's time to do a recovery. So ThreatWise deploys some decoys out there, which mimics your crown jewels. Anytime any of a threat actor is trying to access those crown jewels, he he pings on these decoys and it'll raise an alert which could be sent to your SIM or SO tool. And basis that, the next action could be decided by the security team what needs to be done. It captures all the information, what IP it's coming from, what it was it trying to do over there. Was it trying to access a certain file, or was it trying to also access the other IPs from that? Risk analysis helps locate and classify sensitive files in a customer environment so that you can quarantine, you can fix permissions, or remove data to prevent exfiltration. So please remember that 80% of our data in a customer environment is all unstructured data. And out of this unstructured 80% data, usually 60% data, 60 to 70% data is something called dark data. That is, I have customer have got data, but the visibility of that data is very low. We have no idea what are all those files created by whom. Are they really required? Does they contain any kind of sensitive information or PII information in them? Or maybe they are orphan files. They were created by a user. Users are moved out of the organization. User got deleted in the AD, and suddenly the files have got no owner. They are orphan files. Or maybe they are very critical files which has got a read-write access to everyone. So risk analysis helps you find out this kind of data, and basis this information, the customer can take other steps. He can either delete the files because they are out of compliance. For example, a company compliance could be you leave data for 7 years. Anything more than 7 years gets deleted. So if you have data which you are lying there for more than 7 years, that means you are out of compliance. So you can only delete that data if you are aware that I have got data which is more than 7 years old, and what are those files which I need to delete. Security IQ, or a security insight engine, helps spots abnormal behavior, and it also provides organic recommendations for a way to improve your security postures. So this is a dashboard which gives you a view of what is your security posture. And there is nothing like I need to go to, let's say the dashboard, I need to go to 100 point. It's because that number keeps on changing each and every day depending on the new threat and vectors which are coming into play over here. Coming on the right side, the auto recovery helps the customer sanitize, validate, and orchestrate recoveries at scale. So it's very easy when you want to do maybe a one VM or a one physical server, or maybe a couple of them, or maybe at the most 10 to 15 of them. You want to do a recovery of them. But the moment you have your data center go down for whatever the reason, and you have to recover huge amount of data and hundreds of terabytes and hundreds of clients, that's where the auto recovery comes in. That's where it shows our strength in helping a customer recover thousands of terabytes of data and thousands of clients at the maximum speed possible. Threat scan helps the customer spot potential threats lurking in a data set, reducing RTOs by providing last known good copies of data and helping provide malware reinfection. So here what is happening is the threat scan also can take a backup copy, go through it and find out if there is any malware which is there in the backup copy. If it finds that maybe there are 10 odd files which has been infected, so those 10 files would be flagged. When you try to do a restore from that particular backup, the files which have been flagged, they will not be recovered. So it helps you make sure your recovery is all clean. There are no there is no the malware infected files, which also gets recovered as a part of the recovery process. It will stop you from doing that. So backup and recovery for the industry's fastest, the most scalable recovery at the lowest TCO. Every time at the end we come down the price point, right? Because TCO is what every CFO or CXO looks at. This is what I want. I want all the security feature sets. I want all the features which allow me to do auto recovery and also do a scale. But I also want the best TCS out of it, right? And that's where the component helps you achieve that. So same slide, but now with what we have done is we have put the cursor out there. On the left hand side, we can see with the thread price and the thread scan, we take care of the surface threads, prevent the exfiltration of the data during risk compliances, improve security posture, and coordinate response if there is somebody sniffing out there in your network or on your servers. The auto recovery wouldn't happen, and the sanitize and the validation of the backup is also part of that auto recovery process. So it makes sure that when I do a recovery, my data is sanitized or it's a validated copy of a backup. We prevent a reinfection by making sure that files which are got tagged as being malware infected, those files are not recovered. So those files can be kept, and they can also be recovered uh, out of place for a forensic analysis. If you have a security team which would want to do that or have the capability to do that, so those only files can be recovered in out of place environment, in a secured environment for forensic. Recovery at scale, when you want to do a recovery of hundreds of lines or hundreds of terabytes, and making sure that you stay compliant as per your compliant data and compliance requirements. So Commvault is the only provider that allows you, it protects anything from on-prem to a multi-cloud to edge and the SaaS and anywhere, anywhere wherever it lies. And it gives you all with a single user experience. So the dashboard, what you are seeing over here, it provides you visibility on all the data which you're protecting, be it running anywhere. Okay. So when I say anywhere, I literally mean it. We have customers who are running one dashboard, and they could be having a data which is lying all multiple data centers across the world, multi clouds, or you know about all the major cloud vendors which are there. It could be AWS, Azure, GCP, IBM, OCI, right? We can handle all of it with a single console. So you get a single user experience, and you also don't require multiple people to run and manage this. So we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of customers worldwide across the globe uh, who rely on Commvault to keep their data protected. And these are some of the names. I'm sorry, here the names are all American ones, but we also certainly do have quite a big set of customers in India uh, who are running Commvault and using it to protect their data set. So coming to the last one, why did all these companies choose Commvault, right? So if I have to put down the main three reasons, the biggest three reasons, these were the biggest three reasons. One, first is Commvault help reduce the low risk factor. Okay, there was a report which we had commissioned by IDC, which reported that Commvault customers enjoy 60% reduction in exposure to compliance and audit failure, and to data theft and breach risk. Okay, so when you have visibility of your data set, and you have taken your actions basis the kind of data what you have, who is the owner, what kind of permissions are given to it, any PI information added to it. Okay, it makes sure that your failure due to compliance, not taking care of your data, and to data theft by keeping them in a secure location, by making sure that everybody does not have access to those data. Okay, Commvault helps customers achieve that. Second is resilience. With the Commvault help a customer keep their business up and running. We help the resilience of the organization by minimizing the impact of security and data incidents. As an example, in a recent customer analysis, customers reported that the Commvault, they were able to detect threats in minutes compared to earlier hours with the other technologies they were using. And the last but not the least, lower cost. And the biggest area of value is around cost. The cost of protecting data and the cost of data incidents is high. And Commvault delivers energy leading, industry leading data protection and the fastest, most scalable recovery. and 3 times lower price than all the competitors, and even the cloud native tools which are used for data protection in a cloud environment. And we do it every time. I wouldn't say it's only a once or twice, but we do it every time for all our customers. So we have been redefining modern data protection for a cloud-driven world. Whatever the slides we saw, whatever the features we spoke about, I hope they were able to give you some view of how Commvault is able to achieve this. And so with that, I come to an end. And now I will pass on to Prince. Prince, if you're online for the live demo. Prince, are you online? Okay, so I can see Prince. Uh, okay, apologies, but Prince seems to be having some issue with the audio. We're just correcting it. Yeah, Prince, we are still not able to hear you.
Arvinder sir, team, we have a technical glitch at Prince's end. Arvinder sir, we would go ahead with the Q&A right now. In the meanwhile, Prince takes up the system
Sure,
check. So we have a couple of questions which have come in, Arvinder sir, and I would be glad if you can answer a couple of them.
sure.
Yeah. So the first question comes in as redefining data protection. What are the benefits for the citizens?
Okay. So data protection, if you look at the legacy companies and what the operation, what we have been doing, we just look at the data center, what is lying in the data center, we protect that data. But if you look at now, the data is lying in multiple different locations. You have your data centers and spread all over the globe, okay, multiple data centers across the world. Then you have your data which is lying at the edge. Now, many companies are also looking at hybrid environment. So you have a data also sitting in a cloud. Again, from a cloud perspective, there are multi-cloud vendors out there. So you can have Microsoft Azure, you can have AWS, OCI, GCP. It could be lying in multiple different places. Now you can imagine a customer trying to protect all the data because it's lying in different locations. First thing is finding out where the data is lying, and then having a solution which would be able to protect all this data to the best of its capabilities, and also make sure that the TCO is the least. It's not very easy. It's not very easy. And that's where the Commvault helps in, because we have been doing this for the last 26 plus years, and we understand all different cloud vendors and the object cloud storage technology which is being used by all these cloud vendors. Allow a customer to protect the data from all these multiple places and make sure that all
Now,
of it
can
is
you
kept.
hear me?
Yes, Prince, we can. And make sure that the data is protected and kept in multiple locations. Again, deciding depending on the customer, you can have a copy in cloud and you can have a copy in your data center. So how you want to play it? Multiple options
Okay.
available to the customer, or you also use it. So Prince,
Thank
I'll
you.
give it to you.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, I was trying to connect, but no, audio was not working. I hope it is fine. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Just confirm me once you have my screen up, any of them.
Yes, you're on the login screen and it's getting logged in right now.
Okay, thank you so much. So team, while we've been speaking about the cyber resilience and all our, new theme, which is called secure, defend, and recover, and all this new initiative that we have taken as part of our new theme, let's look at the entire product itself, right? What you are now looking at on the screen is a metallic, which is a Commvault DMAS data management as a service product. Okay, and to access that, you just need a laptop with the internet. Okay, we do not really need a high-end compute to deploy a backup server. So look at that all catalog. So this is a complete metallic catalog starting from Active Directory database endpoint. We offers, from an Active Directory to your Dynamic 365. So what we offer is edge, core, and cloud as a complete solution. Okay. Now, while while you've been hearing, Arvinder talk about the complete security part of it, let's understand what's exactly there in it. Right now, if you look at it here, we have a threat wise which is included, which is sassified, which is nothing but a deceptions technology. Before I move toward threat wise, I wanted to talk about a little bit from our deceptive technology. We wanted to look at that, how we can protect and give you a visibility of the data that is there. Right now, look at that option called Security IQ dashboard over here. Now, the Security IQ dashboard, as Arvind was talking about, how do we also give you a visualization or probably a understanding about what's happening across the data set that is there for a backup. Okay, we are not only talking about a backup repository, we are also talking about a server which are actually getting protected. How are we actually making sure those servers are not having any infected files in it, no SQL injection happenings for that files and servers and web applications. So if you look at it monitoring, we are the vendor which provides you a complete visualization under something called Security IQ dashboard. Okay, and this is again a complete SaaS-based solution. Now, under the Security IQ dashboard, we would tell you that how many anomalies has occurred, what is the unusual file activities has happened, what's the security posture scores that you have, and what exactly the security posture scores means for you is there are predefined frameworks which you need to comply with, right? And this software will search, will the software sense that and tell you that, hey, you are only 50% secure, you are 67% secure, you are not 100% secure. And to do, in order to be 100% secure, 100% security posture secure, you got to do that many, you got to enable that many functionality, and which are already there in the screen. Okay, so if I have to connect the presentation that Arvinder has given, the topics that Arvinder spoke to this slide, to this product, is something that we are not only backing up your data, we are also securing, defending, and when the DR happens, we will provide you a clean copy to recover. So that's our theme line: secure, defend, and recover. When I say secure, we are using multiple technologies, multiple security approaches, multiple security standards, starting from AES encryptions to the immutability, zero trust technology, MFA, multi-factor authentication, we call it, RBAC, role-based access control, and machine learning and artificial intelligence is driven solution, right? So now what you are looking at here under the security IQ dashboards are those parameters that needs to be enabled or needs to be incorporated in the event of, when you are creating a complete backup strategies across the data set. Now, audit trials, it has to be enabled. External authentications, field lock-in account, account lockout duration, delete authorizations, restore authorizations. These are the few services which I have not enabled. Therefore, my score is not 100% secure, right? My score security posture is not 100%. Now, these are the information that will tell you. So if you enable the delete authorizations, when this setting is enabled, the deletion request will require an approval from another administrator, protecting against accidental or malicious detective tasks. That cannot be disabled once it's enabled. So for a situation where your admin or any of those user accidentally tries to delete anything, okay, if that feature is enabled, trust me, it has to go to a multiple approval process, so that no one can go ahead and purposefully or intentionally delete that files and folder. Restore authorizations, hypothetical situation if I put it. Now, if an admin has to look at the CEOs and CFOs data, if he wants to restore, he will restore it in his system, and he can have a look of all the data that the C-level users getting backed it up or backing up, right? Now, restore authorizations provides you a multiple level of authorization. Again, when you want to restore, it has to go to an approval process, and when you apply it, approve, then only a admin or a sub-admin will be able to restore it. Okay, we've got storage and encryptions, which is AES by default. There, key management systems, you can manage your own key. Okay, we can have an external key management system also configured. We do it with the help of Azure Key Vault. We have compliance log. We can create a compliance log for your object storage if you want. So here it is recommended to enable compliance log for a storage to restrict the ability to reduce the retention plan. For example, if you have created a plan for a backup on your storage and somebody tries to delete and reduce the retention plan, while having the compliance log onto that storage, it will bar them to reduce that. Okay, that is one of the critical features that are coming with you as part of this product itself, Commvault product itself. Now, going up, if I tell you about the failed login lockout count, this setting controls by a metallic or by a Commvault according to a AC7 in NIST 80053 publication. That means anytime when somebody is trying to log in with the username and password, if it is unauthorized access, it will lock out them, and probably it will also give you an identification who is trying to do that. Okay, so that is few of those understanding of features that you need to enable when you use this product. You will get that information. And guess what? Compliance audit trials, you can have the full audit trial report within that product for a 1 year of time. That means any activity of any individual who performs it under the metallic and combo will have every activity captured under the audit trial log. Okay, if you look at it here, I have the information of who has logged in with what username on what device, what is it doing with that, what is the username, what is the time, what is the operation. Every bits of the informations that he performed will get populated and logged under the compliance or under the audit log. Okay, so that is something I wanted to show you right here under the monitoring. Security IQ dashboard, as I said, is available to consume as a SaaS-based services, which is Metallic, or it is also available for our core product, which is Commvault Complete. You can use this to understand the anomaly which is happening across your file, understand the unusual file activity. So if you look at it here, I have one anomaly which is detected and 3 unusual file activity. How are we going to, how are we doing that? Okay, the technology behind that is, as I said, machine learning driven, artificial intelligence inbuilt, and honeypot technology. When we back up your system, right, we deploy an agent inside to the servers that has honeypot bundle in it, right? And what happens then? It has a 7-day of learning period, which he learns about the file behavior, file system changes, file, file size, and all the headers of the files. For PDF today, I'm having a 1 MB of change every day. All of a sudden, if the PDF changes his his behavior or the pattern or the size, we mark that file and alert it right here in the security IQ dashboard, saying that this file has some malicious activity happening across the file system. Okay, it's not from after the backup, it's from the time we start backing up your data. Okay, so that is a security IQ dashboard that gives you a complete understanding about the anomaly, the unusual file activity. Now I'm gonna jump this browser to a threadwise, right? Threadwise is one of our disruptions technology which we have integrated under this and under the metallic itself, right? So can you see my threadwise slide here, threadwise demo here? Is it redirected to the TSOC? Can anyone confirm that? Because I've changed
Yes, it
the
is.
browser.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Now this is a threadwise TSOC console. Okay, and when I'm talking about threadwise TSOC console, you must have heard Arvinder talking about how do we create a deceptions across your crown jewels, right? How do we create a lookalike asset for your crown jewels to redirect all the attackers to a fake asset? Now, when I'm talking about that, we have sassified the entire deception technology within that metallic. That means you will be able to consume this product as part of a SaaS offerings, right? So in the metallic itself, when you click on threadwise, it will redirect you to a browser which is called a TSOC, threadwise security operation console. Now, what exactly that means? This is a view where you can understand and you can visualize the complete threat statistics, right? When I say threat statistics, when you create a complete decoy for your crown jewels, that's where you will get a alert and understanding. So let me give you a walkthrough about the entire dashboarding. So if you look at it on the right side of this one, right, this is all department event timelines. Here you can see the timelines of the data, what is happening when there is an internal threat, what was the threat size, what is the time, and everything, right? Now, if you look at on the bottom side of it, right, there is a trap. This is the trap which we have created as part of this demo. We have 22 emulation trap, one full OS trap. Now, The difference between emulation trap and fullness trap is you create a complete machine as a lookalike for the hacker, which is a fullness trap, for where you need to deploy a small agent to do that. When you see that emulation trap, that means you are emulating SMB files and NFS files and stuff, right? So that is two traps that we have created. Now, how many traps that you can create under the TSOC? Okay, let me tell you that. Starting from your workstations to your own homegrown applications, we can cover all, right? And this is a complete SaaS-based solutions where you don't really have to depend on any hardware coming from our side, right? It is a console which is hosted outside of your environment, and the virtual appliance which can be hosted on any of your VM environment. So that OVF file will act as a virtual appliance and create 512 sensors. Now, when you create 512 sensors, you can create a trap from there. And now the trap could be your workstation, trap could be your endpoint, trap could be your IoT device, Linux box, networking traps, anything. Now, if you look at this side of it, where you can see a threat statistics, here you will get to know who is doing what with your applications, with your web applications, with your servers, with the homegrown application that you have. So that color coding will tell you the severity of the attacks that is happening. Okay. Now the threats, you can see it across the globe where it has happened, right? You can see the traps where we have created a traps globally. I have created a traps here globally. You will have a view of all, right? Now let me tell you at what exactly scan means to it, right? When I click on scan, it will now take me to the complete detailed view of a scan which is happening from a attacker to a services that I'm using. Let's double click on the job ID ending with 810, attacker which has a host name of this with the IP address of this using the port number this, which is 60834, is trying to scan a Windows server. That means an attacker is trying to scan a Windows server of mine with the port active, and he is, is doing a port scan. Now look at that detailed information here. At this time, I have seen a network scan is happening with the port called 8022, right? That is the information that we provide you when anyone scans your data. Now you can download this information as a JSON and PCAP files, and you can provide that to your InfoSec and security team for a further investigation, right? For a forensic investigation. So let's change that. Let's change the scan to a interaction. Now when I say interaction and search, the color coding get changed. Now look at that attacker. Now he is using the port number 858962 and then trying to scan or trying to do a interaction. That means he has established the connection already. So if you look at the detail of it, you see the remote services has already established the connection using 58962 port. He had got the request. Now he has requested, accepted here with this header and with this window entity server, right? Now he has again made a request and connected the connection. That means now the service of command and control which hackers hold is connected to the services that you are using this port name. That means your interaction is already done. Lateral movement is done. Now if I change that interaction to a connection, right? Now if I search that, the barcode color coding change. Connection is, that means he just got a request. Now if I change that to an infection and then search it, it will give you a different color coding with a different detailed understanding altogether. Okay. Now if you look at the category here, how many times he made a request? and made a connection 215, get request 231, put 1, post request 5, URL attack 5 times. That means this attacker has successfully got hold to the server of Windows Server, encrypted the entire files of it, and then now all the all this all the attacks is completed. Now if you look at the detail here, using this port, okay, he made a connection, and if you look at that request, he got the request from here, and if you look at the last bit of it, he has made a connection in the image file. He has deployed some malicious code and did that infection. Now, this file can also be downloaded as a PCAP and JSON. And let me tell you, all those informations that you are now seeing it right here is happening on the fake asset. Got it? So this is the fake asset that I have created just for the hackers. So the hackers are not, accessing my real crown jewels. Instead, they are accessing my fake asset, right? There are one privilege escalations happen. That means it gives you a complete privilege, or it gives an hackers to a complete system privilege to do a lateral movement. Lateral movement is nothing but from one system to another sources, and then he downloads the payload. Payload is nothing but a files in a form of any encrypted or any malicious code that used to encrypt your files, right? So the bottom line of this product is, what we are doing, are we protecting? No, we are not protecting, but we are letting you know that even before the incident occurs, we are telling that go ahead, check the port number 56400, which has been used by this attacker to exploit your web services, your applications, your business critical assets. Okay. So again, if I reframe myself, is threat-wise help you to buy more time to go ahead, look at the loopholes of your applications, and then patch it up, then take an action against the intruder who is trying to scan, who's trying to make connections. So for example, hypothetically, if I provide you an informations today that somebody is scanning your port, okay, against to that, you won't have information about somebody scanning, and that guy has already scanned, made a request, downloaded the payload, and then infected. Okay, so you will have an upper hand when you have understanding there's some unauthorized user is trying to ping or scan your service, and you can block that and then you don't have to go ahead uh, and depend on the complete recovery process when you can stop your attack at the access point itself. And that is what we are doing. We are now gone beyond the backup, right? We are no more just a backup company, right? We are also helping all our customer across all the backup, all the infrastructures or all the domain to protect server, to secure their production servers, to defend their informations, and to recover from a clean copy whenever they need. Okay, so that's our tagline. Now, this is from a analysis point of view. Now, if you look at our attack visualization, okay, you could see what who is the attacker, how many times he made an interaction, how many times he did a reconnaissances, which is nothing but a lateral movement, how many times he made a connection, how many times he did a scan. Okay, so if you look at this attacker called 172.168.4.100 is trying to attack a Linux box, IoT device, switches, Cisco, Juniper, everything. So look at the attacker visualization here, right? He is actually attacking all sort of services that a customer is running it recently, right? So that's where you get the complete visualizations. Now, next part of it is forensic. For example, we got that data that this is the files, this is the infected image that attacker has deployed. In my Linux server, I can download here, create a JSON file, not JSON file, PCAP file, and and I can provide it for a further investigation. Like, you can download it here, all the reports of the files, and then you can view what was that file, right? Every information. And then this is the malware. When you download this malware, you will create a signature, and then this product is actually very much integrated with all the security product, sims product, so product. You can send that information to them just to keep that image, so that next time if the same malware image comes in your system, you will have a signature for that. Okay, so that's how we can also provide you a complete detailed understanding of those files. Look at the behavior. This is the dynamic behavior of that particular malware which we have detected, right? You can check the environment, when it was published, what was the version, what was the original name of the file. You can see the file operation, where it was resided, how many times it was written, how many times the file opened, all the minute informations about that particular malware which was trying to get inside in my system, inside in my applications, are right here logged within Metallic ThreatWise console. You can download it as a malware and then send it to your further investigations, right? That's under our forensic expertise. Now, it comes under the reportings, where you will get a report for all the appliances that you have created, all the assessment that you have created, malware assessment, traps, okay, and all the report history. You can get the report history for all the traps that you have created here. This is the malware assessment here. You can see what is my malware assistant, how many times that the deceptions technology has worked, available traps, how many traps are there, how many selected traps, how many departments, how many appliances, and report history of it, right? Now, going forward, there is something called trigger. Now, this options provides you a complete new options to create your own trigger. You can provide the name, descriptions, select value, okay, select the department, select the appliances, email. So the moment anything happens, right, any scan happens, for example, right, today on you get the trigger on your email. Hey, somebody's pinging your server, somebody's trying to ping your fake assets, somebody's trying to make some connections to your fake asset, somebody is trying to download some payload. Isn't that isn't that easy for security admin, to act fast, right? Once you have a trigger happening to your email, you'll get to know that somebody is trying to do something. You go ahead, try, act, use your security vendor, and then do some patches, and then take a measurement or take a actions against towards that activity. Now, event corrections and monitors, these are some options where you see the malware outbound connection, how many malwares, what is the name of the malware, what is the hash and source addresses of it, right? So these are from the analysis. Now I'm going to walk you through that appliance which we deploy, how easy for us to create and deploy an appliance. It's just a click away. You create an appliance, create here, create an appliance, and you can create your own trap. Let's say this is an appliance that I have deployed. Now, if I click on plus, here I'll be able to create my own trap. Now, what trap I wanted to create? Let's say, okay, a trap for my server workstation. Okay, I create. Let's say I wanted to create a trap for my Linux servers, public trap, Commvault backup server. So again, any backup server can be also mimicked by using Metallic ThreatWise. Okay, so you can also create, because nowadays hackers are not only corrupting your sources, they're also targeting the backup solutions as well. Okay, now there are other services that you can use. IoT device, let's see that we can also create a trap for your IoT device, your networking, your medical devices, your industries, your financials, and your remote services and custom, right? These are the predefined you know predefined traps that you can do it. And also, if you don't see that there are some application that you have developed, and you want that also to be created here, you can use something called DYOT. Bring your own trap. You create your own trap. Let's say you are developing a homegrown application, let's say web trap, give a host name and apply. We can also mimic that. Okay. So this is the very most important features of a threat-wise that I wanted to show you. Now, since we are, over 5 minutes of our time, let's understand the takeaway from the entire sessions that we have delivered today so far. So we as a Commvault now providing you a threat-wise as a deception solutions. We are also making sure your data is secure, defend, recover anytime that you want, right? That means you don't really have to have a multiple point in time solutions, right? We can create a deceptions technology to protect your crown jewels. On the same time, we back up your data wherever you want on an air-gapped manner with all the threat scans, content scanning in place. We can also do a malware threat scannings from the repository and from the production, and then give you a clean copy, right? So that is the whole ideology from a Commvault as we change our entire theme line to secure, defend, and recover. With that, I'll just stop my service demo setup and look at the Q&A if there is any.
Thank you, Arvinderjeet and Prince, for sharing those insights and taking us through extremely informative sessions. Now, I would like Arvinderjeet and Prince to take up a few audience questions.
So Arvinder sir, like we were on with our Q&A, there are a couple of questions directed to Prince during his demo and during Arvinderjeet's session as well. So the first question is, what is the commission doing to ensure the correct application of general data protection regulation, and how can Commvault help in these compliances?
Okay, so if you are referring to a GDPR compliant, okay, our product itself is built upon those principles where we can understand the PII under the Article 35A, right? So this product has a complete algorithm designed to understand if personal informations are captured under the backup repository. We'll also let you know with that, okay? So that is pretty much there. We are compliant with GDPR.
Great, thanks Prince. So the second question is Metallic a SIEM, and can we integrate the logs with an external SIEM?
Absolutely, yes. Any syslog and webhook protocols are supported with Metallic. You can send out all the alerts from Metallic to SIEMs, and so.
Okay, so I'll go to the next question. How does Commvault help in reducing spends compared to the cloud native solution?
Yes, this is very nice question. Let me be very vocal and let me explain you in one simple example. For example, today, if you as a customer is running a native technology, let's say AWS on Azure, you create a snapshot, isn't it? So when you create a snapshot for the infrastructure that you are using from an hyperscaler, you got to have the same amount of storage, right, to store the snapshot. So if I'm using Azure VMs, which generates 100 terabyte of snapshot, I need to have 100 terabyte of storage, and that 100 terabyte of storage cost to me. While implying or while using Metallic or Commvault as a solution, we can optimize that. We can reduce with our global deduplication technology and compression to 50%. That means now you are saving 50% of storage cost. Not only that, you are not only depending on a snapshot, we will also create a file system backup and application consistent backup for the application that you are hosting on your hyperscale, right? So it is going to give you, way beyond a snapshot. B, it is going to reduce the cost of your storage, and C, it will also create a air gapped copy outside of the resource.
Great, thanks Prince for this the answer. The next question is the solution compliant to the industry standards like NIST, CIS, worm, FIPS 140 by 2, and etc.
Absolutely. We are built upon zero trust mechanism, which has zero trust principle, which has all the NIST framework, which is five: identify, protect, monitor, and then respond and recover. These are the five principles that NIST talks about, and this product is actually built upon the NIST framework, right? We have SOC 2 certified, we have FIP certified, we have PSI DSS, we have FedRAMP, we have NIST. All the security standard that anyone asks, we are already certified. We are the only vendor in this, in this segment which has got FedRAMP high standard certification from the US government.
Thanks, Prince. We move to the next question. There's a question from Sasi Anand who's asking if I'm using a cool tier license. So is there any dependency on the primary copy in the local disk?
As in, no. See, the backup flow will have two tier of architecture. First, let's say you are backing up your file system, which is there on premise. So you need to first write your data on your local disk for some time, probably for a short-term retention and for a faster recovery, and then only you'll be able to create a copy on a cool tier. You cannot write a data directly from your source to a cool tier. So yes, you need to have a local backup copy or a hot backup copy landing on a hot tier first for a short-term retention. And recommendation would be, if it is a data center workload which is more than 10 terabyte and so, let's have a local backup copy for a faster restoration, because you are backing up over the internet, which is a fine, right? And having a faster restoration over the LAN is always faster than a WAN. Okay, so yes, you need to have a local backup copy first on your disk, and then you can move it to the cool. You can't write directly on a cool tier.
Great. Thanks, Prince. So we move to a second last question, which says, how can a system admin manage a multi-cloud DR strategy using this solution?
Very good question here. Again, metallic or combo, as I say, gives you a flexibility to create a multiple DR. Let's say, for example, you've been backing up your all VMware vCenter workloads today with Metallic locally, and having a one copy on cool tier in an Azure or in our MRR, right? So you can use that copy or a local copy to create the DR across all those 2 or 3 hyperscalers, right? And when you do so, it will automatically convert the VMware to an hypervisor and hypervisor to the VMware. For a system admin, it is going to be a single click, and how it is going to be is, you have a backup copy, you are backing up on a cloud, let's say MRR cloud or any of your storage cloud. That image will be there to use to create a DR, and it is a single click. Again, you can do a complete VM recovery, you can mount that image, you can attach that image to a disk, and you can also use an out of place recovery. Out of place recovery will allow you to restore from on-premise to cloud, from one cloud to other cloud, from other cloud to again on-premise. So these are the complete flexibility that we provide to our customer with this product.
Thank you, Prince. And Arvinder sir, there's a last question which talks about people want to know about the data localization policy. If you can take them through.
I will.
Yeah.
I will take that.
Yeah, Prince.
For yeah, so for data localizations, we also adhere to the local body, regulation body. That means if we are catering to our Indian customer, we make sure the data doesn't leave the Indian soil, right? And to do that, we are actually having a data center within that country, which is central India. You will have our data center, which is Pune data center. We have hosted that data center outside of, using an Azure DC itself. Okay, that means your data is, backing up there in India itself, in central India.
Great. Thanks, Prince. So in the interest of time, we will take the remaining questions offline, and I'll request the Commvault team to respond to other questions offline via email. And Ria, over to you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we arrived at the juncture where we seek your feedback. Please do spend a few minutes of your time to fill in the feedback form. Do remember to select a convenient time to meet a member of the Commvault team to further discuss on Robert's data protection strategy. On completing the meeting, each of you stands a chance to claim a giveaway. I thank you on behalf of Commvault and Technobind for joining us and spending your valuable time with us today. We would like to invite you to the next webinar where Commvault experts dispel deceptive claims around data protection. Please click on the link in the chat to register. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, everyone. Bye. Take care.